Hey guys, happy weekend. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are right now. Yeah, it's still weekend. It's a beautiful one. And right now, it's another opportunity and another day to learn, relearn, and unlearn from different aspects of life, especially um, the marriage life. So if you are new and it's your first time joining us on the conversation, today it's still Jinsei Matters with Roy, a platform for you to learn, relearn, and unlearn from different aspects of life. And recently we started a series, a marriage life series, where we've been considering and looking into different stages of the marriage life. We've had conversations on just before you got married, before you get married, before you say yes, and things you need to consider before you start your marital journey. Also, we had an episode on the things you need to discuss with your to be partner. And after that, we've had series of discussions, issues that come up few weeks, few months, few years after the marital joining. And today we have an interesting and practical topic of discussion before us, and I'm sure you don't want to miss any bit of the discussion. Yeah, today before us, we'll be having a discussion on husband and his mother in law. Yeah, in time past, we've had misunderstandings, we've had situations where husbands don't really have a cordial relationship with their mother-in-laws. I've had series of stories, challenges that people face, especially not just. Oftentimes, we've had wives having issues with their mother-in-laws, but recently we also see that not just the wives alone do have issues. We have husbands who also have issues with their mother-in-laws, and that's why we're having the topic before us today, which is husbands and their mother-in-laws. And today we'll be looking at the responsibilities of the husband towards his mother-in-law. What are the expectations? What are they expected to do? How can they maintain a cordial relationship between themselves and their mother-in-laws in order to avoid challenges, in order to avoid stories that tell, in order to avoid misunderstandings. And today we will be having with us our guest speakers, who is no other person but this wonderful couple we've been having with us for some weeks now, Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji, and they are right here with us. It's really been a privilege. It's really been a blessing to have them with us despite their tight schedules. We really, really appreciate their presence with us. Please join me in welcoming Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji with us on the platform today. Thank you very much, Sir and Ma. We would like you to briefly introduce yourself to our viewers who will be watching you for the first time today. Thank you so much, Sir and Ma.
Okay.
It's
Good day to
okay.
you. Good day, everyone. Can you hear us?
I think the volume is a little bit low.
Okay. What about this? Can you hear us now?
Ah, yes, it's okay.
Okay. So, good day, everyone. My name is Fola, and I have here with me my wife Bumi. We are both growing in the Lord. We are computer scientists, and we are doing fine right here in Massachusetts. And we are happy to be on the show with you. We hope that as we share together, we are going to learn one or two things and we are going to hear from you all so that we can all grow together in the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much, sir.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, Stubborn wants to say something.
Yeah, I said thank you for having us again.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. So to all our viewers out there, if you have anybody who you want them to be a partaker of this conversation, or personally you want to join you want to contribute to the conversation today, there is a link in the comment section. Feel free to call in to share your contribution. Feel free to share this video out to any other person you feel will benefit greatly from the discussion today. Thank you so much. So, like I said earlier on, today we have before us the topic on husbands and their mother in laws, their responsibilities, what is expected, how can they have a cordial relationship between themselves and their mother in laws. So, without wasting much of our time, we'll just dive in straight into the discussion. Over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Husband and mother-in-law is an interesting topic and is an uncommon topic.
Yeah.
The common one is the wife and the mother-in-law. But sincerely, there have been situations where husbands are having issues with their mother-in-law, and it's not unexpected. You know, there has been time that the mother-in-law wants the wife to live exactly the same way they lived. Whether the situation permits it or not, they want their daughters to live exactly the same way they were living. And that brings about a lot of issues. I will try to make example. And the other side also is a part where the husband is always complaining about the mother-in-law. Your mother did this, your mother said this, your mother this, your mother that. We are not going to visit her, we are not going to call her. I don't want to have anything to do with her. Different kind of things like that. Disrespect to the mother-in-law. And there have been situations where we have mother-in-laws that goes to the extreme that they want to rule even in the house of their daughters. There have been situations that mother-in-laws in their own homes, they are the one ruling over the man, and they want their daughters to also rule over their husbands. All of those things are there, especially in families, for example, families where the mother-in-law is earning more or have higher earning power, and she's like the breadwinner. Maybe the mother-in-law is a businesswoman or she's a public figure and she doesn't keep her home very well. She's like, whatever I tell my husband is what he does. And she's trying to raise her own children like that. That's an example. Another example that is very delicate and very sensitive is when we have a single mother-in-law, in the sense that the mother-in-law raised the family as a single mother without the presence of the father. Maybe divorce, maybe death. So the children are somehow raised from one woman's perspective, not from the perspective of a man and a woman. And if care is not taken, the sensitivity there is that there is no balanced training, sort of, except if those daughters have also tried to learn from other families or from other relatives. But when we have a woman that raised her daughters all alone by herself, she usually wants those daughters to live as if they don't have a husband, especially if this was based on divorce. She may have educated the daughters that men are not dependable, men are not trustworthy. Don't expose all your income to men. Even if you are trying to share things together, always have something separate that your husband don't know about. Then at that point, the begin to have problem with the mother-in-law because the mother-in-law is already influencing his wife in a negative way that may have strong impact on the kind of family that they are trying to raise up. So there could be different kind of complications. But I want to come in from this side of number one, if a man is marrying a woman, you are not just marrying the woman, you are marrying the family. The concern, the growth, the welfare of the family of that woman should also be your concern. It should be like a burden, like, let's take care of this. What will make your wife happy should be your concern. And part of those things that will make your wife happy is a family. And one of those is a mother. So the mindset should be there that if I'm marrying this lady, then I'm like marrying the mom as well. Because at some point, I will be instrumental to making my wife happy based on the happiness in our own family. So you look at the, if you say from the Bible, the biblical example we have is Peter having his mother-in-law in his house. The Bible told us that Jesus went to visit Peter and saw Peter's mother-in-law in his home laying sick with fever.
Mm.
That shows a high level of responsibility. Because there are some husbands, they be like, I've married you, I don't have anything to do with your family. If your family need anything, let's send money to them. Your mom wants to come. No, it's not my headache. She should just come one day and leave. I don't really want to have anything to do. I don't want her to begin to say this and that. No, no. Mother-in-law are like your mother. For husband, you need to begin to take responsibility. You need to begin to plan for her. As a matter of fact, I used to emphasize it to people. If you are married and you are not giving something back to your in laws, you are not responsible, no matter how little. As a matter of fact, I usually advise people that let it be like a constant monthly salary. Even if your mother in law or father in law is very rich, no matter what you give to them, even if it's a token, their heart will not curse you for giving them a token. Their heart will say prayers. One thing that every husband needs to understand is the wife that you are marrying today is who she is because one woman raised her up, one woman nurtured her, one woman suffered. I had experiences while growing up, which is on my own side, that would be mother in law to my wife. But then I want to share this way.
Mother-in-law to your wife.
Yeah, in the sense that my own mom, I had experiences with my mom
Mhm.
trying to buttress this point. At some point, I used to do little businesses when I was in higher institution, and that business take me to travel. And so many times I've returned home like 12 midnight because the way the roads are in Nigeria, there could be traffic along the line, and you will not get home until 12. In fact, sometimes I've returned home beyond 12. And not so many places are safe, so you still want to get home. You don't want to sleep on the road, you don't want to sleep anywhere. But one thing I noticed is whenever I came home, whenever I returned home, my mother is always awake to welcome me home before she goes to bed to sleep. My father is also concerned, but he will have gone asleep. So it's my mother that will always stay awake and be like, I've left food for you on the table. You can eat your food. I'm going to bed now. And that thing is golden. The same way my mother did to me, she did to many all our children. But what I'm trying to say is if my mother could do that to me, my wife, my wife's mother must have done something like that or something related to that to her as well. There have been times that mom will have suffered, denied themselves of food, denied themselves of sleep just because of their children. So if you now have a woman that is well built, that is even maybe having children for you, or you are living together, she's cooking for you and doing all those things for you and taking care of your family. Now you thought that there was no woman that suffered on her for her to become who she is. No, that would be wrong. So I think I owe my mother-in-law a lot in terms of appreciation that you have raised a very wonderful woman that I can look up and say, let me marry her. So for us, I think there is a responsibility of a husband to take care of the mother-in-law first. So maybe other troubles or problems that may come up, we still talk about that along the line.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. I was Sister Bumi. Do you want to add anything?
I think that one thing that I was able to get from our conversation, or like thinking about it, is that husband and mother-in-laws issues usually become escalated, or issues between husband and mother-in-laws usually become something that becomes a big deal, or something that is highly noticeable when we are having some form of imbalance in class, or financial empowerment. So, like the example you gave, because I think that ordinarily your wife's mother will not come to your house to say, "Oh, this is what you should do. This is what you should not do," except she has a kind of power. So I think that high power index between the husband and the mother-in-law can be a serious problem. And by talking about high power index, I'm talking about like getting married to a wealthy family. Usually, that is when you see the mother say, "Oh, your wife needs a new car. Are you not working? Why can't you get what she needs for her? Like, why would you buy this kind of a thing for your wife?" As if trying to make the husband see that, oh, we were really taking care of this girl before you came. I don't know why she loves you, but you really don't fit into the class that we expect her to go for. So in that situation, like, that can be a real issue, and that is, I think, in a way very common. Still talking about high power index, maybe it's a situation where the husband is just like first degree, or a pastor, just as a bachelor's, that is the call of God on his life, and the wife's family is this paparazzi in town, big people, all house of professors and things like that, and they're like, your husband is not even well read. Like, there will usually be some form of dissatisfaction with the choice that their daughter made, which they could not control. But now in marriage, they want to show the man, you really don't deserve my daughter. You got her because she wanted you. So that can really cause a lot of issues. And I will say that in that aspect, any man that is going into that kind of relationship or marriage, um, you should know that you have a vacuum to fill. Because in this case, it is that they really don't like you, but their daughter likes you. So, and I will also say that in that situation, the daughter is also a serious advocate. The daughter needs to do a lot of work, because that can really be an issue. So, and I would actually like us to address situations like that, because that is where I usually see husbands and mother-in-laws having serious problems. Like, how disrespectful do you think it is if you walk home and your wife is like, "Oh, my mom sent me a new car, we actually need this car," and it's like, I can manage, like, let's manage what we have. Let's work with what we have. But because your parents have it, they can do it, that kind of a thing. So I really want us to talk about such aspects, because I think that is a serious situation where there can be serious problem for the husband. Like in this case, I'm not sure if respect or something like that we undo it, because it's a situation where they are pushing it to your face every time that you are not exactly who they want.
Mm.
So that's an aspect I also want us to look at it from.
Thank you very much, Matt. To our viewers out there, feel free to call in through the link in the comment sections to contribute, share your opinions about the topic of discussion before us today. Thank you very much, sir and Ma. So, like Sister Bumi said, how do you manage the ego of a man? When a man, as we all know that we are aware of the fact that men, they have their own ego, and sometimes they want to also exercise their authority after all. I've married your daughter. I'm the one in charge right now. And whatever I say, whatever tell her, she should just listen and obey. So how do you manage the ego of a man and the position of the mother-in-law? Because I've discovered that these two clashes a lot. The man wants to claim that I'm the one in charge in this home. The mother, on the other hand, is there trying to like protect the daughter. Oh, she's my daughter. I suffered a lot. I can't just watch her being treated anyhow. And the man, on the other hand, is like, why would you be overprotective on your daughter? Am I not? Can't you just look at me? Are you not noticing me here? And then the man is just like, "Oh, why is your mother so overprotective? She's always concerned about you. Why is she not seeing me that I'm also trying my best?" So how do we manage these two together?
So from my home side, I think both husband and wife need to do some level of growing up in terms of maturity, because the wife is at the center in this situation. And if the wife is matured enough, she will know how to play the game and know how to balance things such that the influence of her mom will not be having negative effect on her immediate family. Because true to it, the Bible says a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife. And the same way a wife is leaving her father and her mother, so that they will both be married and they will be one, growing up together, suffering together, enjoying together, and managing things together. So if the mom wants to help, the mother in law wants to help in any way, she should be helping the family. It would be like, I want to contribute this. Do you think is acceptable? Do you think is fine? That is the position of a mother-in-law. But if a mother-in-law is not doing that, if she's coming from the negative side, then the husband and the wife need to sit down and to discuss how do we approach this in such a way that number one, we will not sound disrespectful, and number two, we will send a message that we are one and we know what we are doing and we have the same goal. We appreciate your help, mother-in-law, but at the same time, we don't want your help. For example, if the husband and wife they don't have enough money, they only have money to feed and to pay rent, and the mother-in-law goes ahead to buy Bugatti for them. And the maintenance of Bugatti itself, it's something else. Is it the mother-in-law that will be maintaining it for them and all those kind of? So you don't need to put a yoke on your children because you want them to enjoy. Let them figure things out. If they need help, then be willing to help them out. If your mother-in-law is that rich, because that is one extreme, and the other extreme is the husband not willing to take care of the mother-in-law. So on that first extreme of mother-in-law wanting to dominate, wanting to do this, wanting to take control, then there should be a signal that will be communicated that these people are so young, this is their family, let them grow up. You don't need to be overbearing over their decisions. You may want to take care of your children, but when you want to take care of your children, take care of both of them. Both of them are your children. In fact, if you want to give gift to the family, give it to the husband, not to your daughter. The husband should now use his wisdom to decide on how to appropriate, how to apportion that gift. So now, the other side of the husband that I want us to look, not willing to take care of the mother-in-law, she's okay, other children are there, they are sending money to her, yeah, she's collecting salary, and all those kind of things. All those things are lame excuses. A husband, have it on your mind that you will take care of your mother-in-law. Let your mother-in-law bless you. The blessing of adults is very, very important. The elderly blessings of our parents are very important. Think about it. What will I do to my mother-in-law that will make her happy? When you are making the mother-in-law happy, do you think the wife will be sad? If I'm doing good things to my mother-in-law and my wife is fighting me for doing good things, then that it means something is wrong somewhere. So when you are making your mother-in-law happy, you are indirectly making your wife happy, and you are indirectly making your home peaceful and happy. So it's very, very important. Take care of your mother-in-law. Be responsible. No matter how little God gives you, out of that little, bless your mother-in-law and bless your parents. And then there should not be partiality. Yeah, my own parents suffer more. Yeah, your own parent did not really go through what my parent went through. So I think we should give more money to my own parents, as if one
But
other parent is unfortunate. I don't think it should be like that.
but
But
what if it's really illegal, like illegal? For example, let's assume you're the first child in your own family.
yeah,
You have maybe like three younger ones who are still in school.
yeah,
Your dad is late. Your mom is the only one helping out. And
yeah,
in my family, I'm the baby of the house. My parents are not paying any tuition. They are not doing anything again
yeah.
and stuff like that.
So in
That
that
is
situation, yeah, it is that is based on need. That is not based on just the welfare package and let's make them happy. That is need based. When there is the need based, there is no reason for calculation that you have given 1 million to your family, then let's slow down a bit because we have not given up to 1 million to my own family.
okay. Let me introduce another dynamics of the package. So let's assume that the package should be equal, but my own parents are living in a very expensive neighborhood,
Okay.
and your own parents are living where things are relatively cheap. Like, should this still be the same package?
So now I'm not just saying about measurements. I'm not
Okay.
talking about measure it, let it be the same package. But I'm just saying that one parent should not be favored over the other one. One parent should not be the favorite.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, no, 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 more money should go to this side. We should not worry about this side. No, that's not what I'm saying. So I'm saying that we should at least balance things. Balance it. Let these people, no matter how rich they are, no matter how comfortable they are, let them know that you care for them. Let them know you care for them. And if they are also uncomfortable, let them know that out of your little, you care for your parents, you care for your mother-in-law. Your mother-in-law and your biological parents are your parents. And then you should care for them. So then there is a place of respect. Respect your mother-in-law. When your mother-in-law comes to your house, if she touches anything, it's out of humility. If your mother-in-law comes to your house and is playing with your children, it's out of humility. She's playing with her grandchildren, granddaughter, grandson. It's out of appreciate her for that. She created time to come. There have been situations where where it I'm not condemning it totally, but we have had situations that some people married and because their parents are big, they could not even stay in their home marriage. Than to what they are doing is to go and be supporting the business or the ministry of their parents. So if you have a situation that you are so lucky that your mother-in-law can come to your house, spend time with you, then you should appreciate it. You should appreciate it. You should be happy. That's the way I see it from. So for husband, you need to respect your mother-in-law. You need to appreciate every gesture that is coming from your mother-in-law as much as they are positive. Every negative gesture, you need to use wisdom to be able to address it in such a way that you will not offend A and you will not offend B. That's my contribution to it.
Okay.
Thank you
So
very
I
much, sir.
think that the same way it can be problematic to have a mommy's boy, it can also be problematic to have a mommy's girl.
Yeah.
I think people who are getting married should be mature enough to understand the principle of living and cleaving, so that they are mature enough to leave their parents. And no matter what we are enjoying with those parents, we should know that now we have chosen another person that we thought that we have a future with, that even when we are not forgetting them as our past or our present because they're still with us, we know that we have a future that we are building, and we are building our own family. So husband taking responsibility of their mother-in-laws, I think it's very important. Like you said, I've heard from what you said, gratitude, like being grateful for them and being respectful of them. But I also want to have that husband and wife should be wise enough to draw boundaries, because where there are no boundaries, it can lead to issues.
Yeah.
I think the Yoruba hadith that comes to my mind, that I don't know how to interpret it to English, maybe you can help me, is
Yeah.
Kokingo ti baba tomo,
Yeah.
koma
There
lala.
should always be the boundary between father's property
Yeah.
and the son's property.
So when my mother comes to my home, my mother should know that she is in my home that I'm building with my husband. We are not in her house. And I think that personally, well, this has nothing to do with husband and mother-in-law situations. But I remember that sometimes ago we were making a joke with my mom, like we were saying some things, and my mom started talking, and she was like, "Oh, this is what you will do." That kind of, and my elder sister was just like, "Mama, the children of this family are talking. You are a wife in this family." It sounds very harsh, but it just brought in a perspective of we are the children in this family. You are a wife in this family. We should tell you what to do. You, the wife, will not be coming to our family to tell us what to do. That seems like a joke and a funny situation, but I think the woman in the home, the man in the home should be mature enough to draw those boundaries with their parents. And the wife being in the centerpiece at this time should be mature enough. So there was an example that my husband gave initially that I want to bring into this conversation. And that is when you have a mother-in-law that was like the strong person in the home, if the father is present, or a single woman. That is usually where you have situations of this is how you are supposed to do things. Like mama came to visit, we are eating, and it's like this is how you are supposed to do this thing. You should take care of your husband. You should take care of your wife. You should be taking out your wife more, and circumstances like that. Drawing boundaries is very important. Mommy should know that, well, that's very good, but this is what we agreed on, and this is what we are going to be doing. And for husbands, if you expect your mom to be respected and taken care of by your wife, I think it's reciprocal. You should be ready to do the same thing as well. I know that in the African culture, which is mostly patriarchal, attention is given more to the wife joining the husband's family, and it is now you are supposed to embrace all their ways, you're supposed to embrace all their life. And because of that, most times the care and attention that should be given to the home where the wife is from is silenced, because it is not treated like, oh, she has left there. And we should just consider it. What of a situation where a woman has just daughters? Are you saying that when they all get married, there is nothing for her kind of a situation? So husbands should know that it's reciprocal. If you want your mother to be taken care of by your wife, you should do the same thing to your mother-in-law.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. And Ma, thank you very much. So, our viewers out there, feel free to contribute your opinion, share your opinions, call in through the link in the comment section. So, I would like us to look at this situation where even before the marriage, before the wedding, the husband already had issues with his mother in law to be. However, they proceeded and the wedding was conducted, and then the issues were still there between the husband and the mother in law. And because the issue of, oh, the ego of the man was there, And he felt, oh, what? I'm the one in charge now. But still, the relationship was not just it was not just a smooth one because of the issues he had with the mother-in-law before the wedding. So now getting into the marriage itself, the issue still lingered. How would you advise this kind of how would you address this kind of a situation?
So there are two issues here that needs analysis. Number one, addressing the situation with the husband or with the wife or with the mother-in-law. That's number,
Yes,
that's number
I
one.
think the three has to be addressed.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it has to be addressed. That's why we need to subject it to further analysis. And the second point is what kind of ego issues? Is it more like money? The mother-in-law is big and she wants it out this way, or is it the husband that is more on the problematic side and she wants to even control the mother-in-law? He wants to even he wanted to control the mother-in-law.
you know
That
like like Sister Bumi shared earlier about some mothers, like wives coming from the wealthy background, from a wealthy background. And then another issue to it is the issue of, oh, the traditional list, the engagement list. Oh, you should bring these, you have to bring these. Oh, you're yet to complete your list and stuff like that. And the husband is like, is your mother not just considerate enough to see I don't have enough to buy all these things? That's
yeah,
where some issues begin. The
yeah,
husband expects that, oh, the wife should just be considerate enough. The mother also should be considerate enough. And the mother-in-law is still maintaining the stand like, oh, this is the way it's being done.
yeah,
Maybe, situations like these. And
yeah,
it's starts from just before the wedding, and then
yeah.
it lingers, and then when situations occur in the marriage, the husband will always remember, I had this issue with with your mother, and she wasn't considerate then, so why should I be considerate now? This kind of
Honestly.
situations.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for bringing that perspective and that context. The context you provided will help the situation. The reason why I subjected it to further analysis was because there is no single curve that fits all.
Yes.
Issues differs, and addressing issues will depend on what they are and who is being affected and who is the major source of the issue. But then I want to mention that marriage itself is a sacrifice. It involves a lot of sacrificial activities and mindsets. If I'm going to marry in so family, I know the kind of life that they live. Maybe they are frugal, maybe they are expensive. Anyhow, I should count my costs. That is what Jesus even expects us to do. Count your costs before you go to work. Count your costs before you start building a house. Count your costs. Is this what they want? Is this what will make them happy? Though I don't have it. Even if I explain to them and they are not considerate, I will still do my best. I'm the one that wants to build a home and I'm the one making requests from them. So based on that request, they have done their home. So look at it from this perspective. If they are not considerate, probably they have not been broken to the extent that they will know that they are not considerate. At some point in life, they will learn the lessons themselves. And some of them can even eventually apologize that we were sorry the way we treated you before marriage. Some of them, let them learn their lessons themselves. Don't be the one to want to teach them lesson. God has not given you the king to teach your wife's family lesson. You don't have that authority. The fact that God gave you the opportunity that the marriage eventually gets successful is not of your own doing. It's not by your power. There are some oppositions that may come, some attacks, some different difficult circumstances that can come for two good people to marry themselves. When those oppositions are coming, know that is a battle that you have to overcome. And once you are after you have overcome it, don't be looking back at how do I punish the person that that was fighting with me. No, it's not like that. Marriage relationship is not like that. Marriage relationship is more like two different families coming together, getting like donating something, investing together, and then growing together. This side A and side B we eventually begin to see from one another's perspective over time. Even if there are a lot of differences before the marriage, eventually over time, things are going to get normalized. A will be saying from side of B, B will be saying from side of A, and at the end of the thing, at the end of the day, everybody will have learned one lesson or the other. But it is not the right of a man, of a woman, or a woman to think it is now time to let them know that I can also be inconsiderate. No, it's not, it doesn't work that way. Will you do the same to your boss in office when they are over demanding, when they are doing what they should not do to you? Will you now begin to say that you want to fight back at some point? So we should take family matter very precious. The way the mother-in-law was overbearing at that time, that is the level of her own understanding. She may grow up to have another level of understanding and learn, but the best thing is for the family to be at peace.
Thank you very
And
much, sir. Okay.
so, thinking about that situation, the first question that came to my mind is if the husband has been having problem with the mother-in-law to be, why did he go ahead with the marriage? And I would say the why should be the reason. So if I know that I've been having problem with uh, my wife's mom, and I still went ahead with the marriage, it means I have an understanding of the reason why I need that woman in my life, why I need that woman to be my wife. So that reason, which was strong enough to still make me go ahead, despite whatever her mom has done, should be the reason for me to exercise some maturity or try to fill in the gap of whatever the problem may be for peaceful peaceful existence or coexistence of everyone in this situation. But I would say that in a situation like the example you gave of the mother-in-law not being considerate, I just remembered another situation of, let's assume that your wife has a paparazzi mother, mothers who want to throw it big, shout it out, do this and that, and you are coming from the perspective of the Bible say we should do things
Moderately.
moderately. And I was so my situation was not exactly like that, but I had a similar, not it didn't escalate to it being a problem between my mother and my husband, but I had something similar when we wanted to do our introduction. But you see, after I gave my life to Christ, I knew that the kind of moderacy I understand is different from the kind of family that I'm from. So that first of all was very different. So I remember that when we were still in higher institution, when I was not even engaged, I used to jokingly say, like when we are talking together in the family, that I'm going to get married to a deeper life. Oh. And that we will not do party. And one of my sisters will always say that you will tell your deeper life people that we are party people. They should give us that one day. After that one day, you can go ahead with your no party life. We will do party
Oh
and
my
stuff
god.
like that. But
I
what
believe the parents are doing party.
But then
Then,
moderacy was a big thing known with deeper life. So I've always said I'm going to get married to deeper life. We will not even dance and do drama. We'll be like, like we cannot do that in our own family. But you see, the reason why I was doing that, it was very funny. The situation did not like play out like that. I didn't get married to a deeper life brother. But the reason why I was saying that is the woman in this position, if you have a different perspective from what your family embraces or the kind of life they live, and you know it can affect your relationship, you must start preparing their minds. For example, you are a Muslim, you are in a Muslim family, you gave your life to Jesus. You will not expect that you come to Alaji and you say, we want to do wedding, and you are following me to church. Like, it may not be, there are several things, background work that you must have done ahead of time to prepare their minds for the kind of future you have embraced. So that responsibility is very important for the wife herself, who is in this case, because you understand your family and you understand the man you're going into relationship with. So I remember that when we wanted to do our introduction, then introduction has become like a mini traditional wedding in Nigeria. Like, people wear the same clothes, you throw parties, you have tents, and it is just introduction. I'll be like, this should be family introduction. So I was preparing my mom's mind. I said, me, I don't want all this. Like, I don't want onidro. Like, I don't know how to say it in English, but
Engagement facilitator.
engagement facilitators, all of this. Like, by the time you have that, it has become like a traditional wedding to me, and it's not a wedding. And my mom will be like, ah, so what are you going to wear? It is 2 months to now. You have not done anything. I said, well, I'll just pick one of the clothes I have. And I said, what are you talking about? How will you just pick one of the clothes? I said, what? Like, this is what I want. He said, no, you and your spouse, you are supposed to wear the same thing. Like, don't disgrace me. You know, my mother got angry one day that she slapped because for her, it's like, you are going to disgrace me. I said, mommy, this is family introduction. Few people from our family, few people from my husband's family, and thank God we have a very big sitting room. We don't need tents, we don't need drums, we don't need anything. Well, it was a little strange for her because her concept of it is, oh, this daughter has made me proud. And don't forget, she's doing this from a very good heart. That, oh, she has made
Mm.
me proud. I need to show, I need to do things. But I put my feet to the ground. I said, this was well, I had to shift a little bit in some way because later I'm like, okay, invite anybody you want to invite. But you know, she started telling people, well, we want to do an introduction, but you know her. She said she doesn't want people. You know her. She said she doesn't want, and eventually we had a sizable and very nice introduction ceremony.
Wow.
But that didn't become my husband's issue because I didn't go to my mom to be saying, so my husband to be said that we should not do it this way. If I
Mm.
start telling my mom that, I have introduced a problem. Because what I'm telling her is, well, I would have agreed with your point of view, but the person I want to marry is not in agreement. Then I have created a kind of, oh, it is the person she wants to marry that doesn't want this. But nothing like that happened. So I would say that first of all, the woman in this situation needs to grow up and be able to address excesses in both ways because she is the one that knows both parties better. And for the mother-in-law, please, if they are saying no, just focus on another child now. And if God gave you just this one child, then just know that they have chosen their own path. You have done what you can by raising your daughter. You can't start raising them. Like, all you can do now is to advise. They are adults. Advice, if they want it, they embrace it. If they don't, then you just leave it. And husband should also be responsible and show love to the mother-in-law.
Wow, 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 wow. That was a lot. Thank you very much, sir and Ma, for your contributions, for those wonderful contributions. To still to all our viewers, you have questions, you have your own opinion, you want to make a contribution, feel free, just call in through the link in the comment section, and you will be allowed in to share your own contribution, your own view about the topic of discussion for today. So, I'll also like to bring this situation, like Sister Bumi said earlier as well, about the issue of the mother-in-law being the rich kind of person, and she's trying to like, okay, maybe you this is the way people should have done it, you should have done it this way and the likes, and the husband is feeling, "Oh, what is this woman always talking about? You should just leave us. Let's live our own life. She has her own life to live as well. So in a situation where we have the husband and the wife, and then the mother-in-law, the husband, whenever the husband and wife has issues like misunderstandings, the husband is always reaching out to the mother-in-law to discuss, or this is what your daughter has done, this is what is happening. And while the wife while the mother-in-law is trying to address the situation, the husband is always feeling like, why you are always siding your daughter, you're sounding protective. And later on, the husband will still go back and meet the wife, telling the wife, why is your mother always sounding like that? She's not considerate. She's always speaking with you. She's always siding you, kind of. She's not always seeing it like I'm in the picture. So now the husband is beginning to have a kind of reservation towards his mother in law. And it's hindering the smooth communication, the smooth relationship that should exist between the husband and his mother-in-law. So within the shots, we have a few minutes left before we bring this discussion to a close. Can we just look into this before we close?
Okay, so I would say that if the husband decides to speak with the mom's wife, with the wife's mom, which is the mother-in-law, on anything, then you should be humble enough to take whatever her opinion is.
Because you
If
sort it, eh?
you said
You asked for it.
you ask for it, that's it. You are happy. You are reporting your wife to your mother-in-law. It's not a big deal to seek counsel from your mother-in-law. It's not a big deal to check with her that this is what I've noticed with my wife. Do you think it's okay? Or should we call her to order? I've been trying to correct her, but she's insisting. And sincerely, I will see that the mother-in-law should be the best person to address her daughter in situation like that. But I don't need to go to my mother-in-law and make her feel as if she has not done a good job of raising the daughter that I married. I don't need to go to my mother-in-law and like pointing accusing finger, see your daughter, see the way she's living. It may you are like indirectly telling the mother-in-law that you have not done a good job. Your daughter is not a good wife. Your daughter has problem. You are not helping the mother-in-law. You are not making her happy by doing that. But if you come with the mind of, I want to share with you, I need your opinion. This is what I've noticed. Do you think it's appropriate? Do you think it's right? If it's not right, do you think we should join hands together to see if we can change our opinion about this kind of behavior? And if the mother-in-law is not in support of your own argument or of your own point of view, then you know that that is not the line to
Mhm,
toe.
mhm.
But if you are hungry because your mother-in-law is saying this, then you ask for it and you should be able to stomach it. So yeah, it's very, very important that Yoruba say something that Agbajowo la fin soya, which is like when hands are joined together, then there'll be more confidence. So the is more like, okay, we are growing up, but we need elderly wisdom. I don't need to take my wife's case and take it to my family and say, my wife is like this, my wife is doing this, my wife is not doing that, and then I'm just cheapening and bringing my wife down in front of my family. But if at some point I need to take counsel from one of the extended family, especially my mother-in-law, then I should be open to her that this is what I've noticed. What is your view about this? And what do you think we should do? And whatsoever she counsel, if I'm okay with it, I will take it. If I'm not okay with it, I will not use her counsel. And I will move on. And I'll be praying God for more guidance and more wisdom. So that's the way I think husbands should behave towards their mother-in-law's opinion.
Thank you very much, sir. Can we have Sister Bumi's opinion?
Okay, yeah, I think that, yeah. So, just like you said, if you ask for it, you should be able to learn from it. If it is not working the direction you want it to work, then you just need to approach the problem in a different way. And in a situation where the mother-in-law is like is like has an upper hand or kind of a thing, I think if you want to help, your your child's family, rather than throwing things at them and showing them that you are the one that is like their backbone or supplying their needs. It's better to empower them. Can you use your connection to get a better job for your daughter? Can you use your connection to get a better job for her husband, or something like that? So there should be that, like, a place of leaving them to be by themselves and determine what they want, than make them like a bag that you carry about.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you very much, Mrs. Kenny. She's saying, God bless you, sir and Ma. Thank you very much, Mrs. Oyinbo Beauty. She said, oh, you all are doing great job. I'm learning a lot. I'm glad you're learning. Thanks for joining us on the conversation today. So, like, as we'll be bringing the conversation today to a close, just a minute of something to take home with, as we've always done.
Yeah, so from my side, I will say to the husband, respect your mother-in-law. Make sure, no matter how devilish you may think your mother-in-law may be, she's still able to pray for you with her whole heart. Win her respect, win her love, and win the honor that you deserve.
Thank you very much, sir, Sister Bumi.
I would think that husband and wife should understand the principle of living and cleaving before they get married at home.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I must confess that yes, have learned a lot from the discussion today, and I'm also sure about our viewers out there. I'm sure you must have learned one or two things from the discussion today. If you have anybody in mind, they really need to see this video, don't hesitate to share it with them and let them also benefit greatly from the discussion. To everyone that has made today's conversation a success, really appreciate you. Thank you very much. And to our special guests, Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Bolaji, thank you very much, sir. And Ma, really appreciate you. And to all our viewers out there, keep watching G Say Matters, wait, right? Till we come your way again, stay tuned, stay safe, take care of yourself. Bye for now.
Bye.